everyone, I'm here today with a technique video showing you watercoloring with two different products, Twinkling H2Os and Distress Inks, and I'm going to be using this Fawn Fluttery set. It's from their newest release. So what I'm going to be doing here is taking some watercolored paper. You can use regular old cardstock, but I like using watercolor paper when I do any kind of watercoloring. And I'm going to be using the smooth side. And I'm going to stamp some of the floral images and leaves from that stamp set that I'm going to be coloring with the Twinkling H2Os. I use the Memento Tuxedo Black ink pretty much anytime I do any form of coloring, whether it's Copic coloring, Gelato's coloring, Distress Ink colorings, because that's a great ink. It dries fast and it does not smear. I got a little something on that leaf. Okay, it's out of the way. So here's the Twinkling H2O set I bought. I actually bought like a variety pack, so it has a lot of the mini containers with the different colors inside of it. Simon Says Stamp sells different packs. You can buy a smaller pack or a larger pack. I just chose to get a whole bunch of colors. And you can use water brush pens if you have them. I have some great water brush pens by Hero Arts, but because I'm going to be using a bunch of different colors, it was just easier for me to grab a paintbrush and some water. So I don't have to continuously clean out my water brush pen. So I'm going to grab a couple of different colors. With Twinkling H2Os, it's pretty much, you can do whatever you want. I'm going to try to blend and create some different colors in my leaf. So I grabbed two different colors of H2Os. And all you do is wet your paintbrush, as you saw, and you just pick up the paint. It's actually dry to touch. But as soon as you wet it, it turns into like a creamy mixture at the top, and then you just paint it on. As you're painting it on, it looks like regular paint. You don't see any sparkle, you don't see any twinkle, anything like that. But when it dries, that's when the magic really shows through. So here I've got these two different colors. I'm trying to create some contrast, and I'm going to be doing the same thing with each of the roses. I've got a pink and then a plum color. And as you can see, I'm not really worrying about contaminating the different containers with the different colors, because when I'm done, I wipe off the surface and it's back to dry, and you're wiping off any excess color you have mixed in there. So I'm not worrying about contaminating them, because you'll wipe it off and it'll go back to its true color. So here I am using different colors to try to create some contrast with the colors. And again, you can keep them all solid. You can add different colors. You can create your own colors by combining 2, 3, 4 colors together. Here I'm using two different blues, but you can see I've actually created a purple. Here I started out with an orange or a yellow one, and I'm going to go in and add kind of a really pretty burnt orange type color. So there's really a lot you can do with the Twinkling H2Os, especially if you have a lot of colors to work with. And these are super fun to paint with, and there's kind of no error here. You just do whatever you want, and you really can't mess up. So that's another reason why I like it. Now this actually had some kind of shimmer green in the variety pack I got, so I thought I'd just kind of go ahead and paint them right over those leaves to give it an extra shimmer. And like I said, you can't tell right now, but once it dries, it's really quite pretty. And I also decided I wanted to add a little bit of orange into the leaves, so I'm painting them right over the green, and it really is quite pretty. So once it dries, you'll see the twinkle from the Twinkling H2O. I obviously decided I wanted a little bit more deeper color down towards that part of the rose, so I'm adding a few more colors. So it's just fun. You can play with it and do whatever you want. Like I said, there's really no room for error here. And then I'm just dabbing off the excess water, and then I'm going to let it dry, and then you'll see how pretty it is once it's dried. So now I'm going to show you watercoloring with Distress Inks, which you've probably seen me do before, and I'm going to use the other flower image from the Fawn Fluttery set. Watercolor paper again. The smooth side is the side preference that I prefer to use. And again, I'm going to be stamping with that Memento Tuxedo Black ink. Now again, I could use my water brush pens, but because I'm going to be doing a bunch of different colors, it's just easier for me to use a paintbrush and a little cup of water. I'm going to take the Distress Ink colors that I chose to use, and I'm going to stamp them directly onto my craft mat. And if you don't have a Tim Holtz craft sheet, you're crazy. You need to pick it up. It's awesome. It's easy to wipe clean, and I love it. But if you don't have one, you can use an acrylic block for this technique as well. So I'm just wetting my paintbrush, as you see, and I'm picking up the water, and I'm kind of doing a dabbing technique. I'm not like painting, I'm kind of dabbing in the color. And I'm just using a bunch of different colors, and I think I end up adding different colors at the ends to get more of the look that I wanted. And I really went in with no color plan. I just kind of picked some colors that I really liked to see if they worked together, and then I just kind of winged it. So yeah, I'm dabbing on some pretty thick, thick dabs of the Distress ink. I think down there, Shabby Shutters, Spice Marmalade, the purple, which I forget the name of that color. Scattered Straw is down there, but I do remember that I'm going to add mustard seed. I wanted a stronger yellow. So that's mustard seed right there. And it's really quite fun. Now these colors might look bright, quite frankly a little ugly to you, but once it dries and once I take off the excess water, you'll see that it really is quite pretty. I think I added another red. That might be Barn Door. I wanted some more red to it. So it's really, when you watercolor with Distress inks and the Twinkling H2Os, it's really, the magic all happens when it dries. It's really pretty. Now, like I said, these colors look bold to you, but wait a second, in just a minute, I'm gonna tone down those colors a little bit. And to make all the colors blend pretty, I'm going to do a couple of spritzes with that Perfect Pearl mixture. And then you can see I'm moving the color around just a little bit. And then I'm going to kind of dab off the excess ink with my cloth, and instantly the colors have toned down some, and it's not even dry yet. But I do want to show you, if you find that you use colors and they're a little bright, you can use that Picket Fence Distress stain and go over it, and it will kind of tone down the colors as well and give it a lighter look. So I did that there with one of those roses to show you. So again, once that dries, it's really going to be quite pretty. So now I'm going to put everything together, and I'm going to create the cards, and I'm going to go into music mode because it's quite obvious what I'm doing making these cards. So here's the music. So here you go. I've completed both cards. Here's a look at the one with the Twinkling H2Os. You can see how it really shines now that everything's dried. And here's a look at the one using the Distress inks. So again, all the magic happens when the cards dry. So here's the Distress inks, and here's the Twinkling H2O card. And I hope that I introduced you maybe to a product that you weren't aware of, like the Twinkling H2Os, and I hope that you give it a try. They're really quite inexpensive and super fun to use. And of course, you know I'm a big fan of the Distress inks as well. So here's a look at the finished card using the Distress inks. And here's a look at the one using the Twinkling H2Os. And this is a way longer video than I normally do, so thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye.